Uh, in the last week or so, we've been learning a lot more about the upcoming first season of WandaVision. Now, they did wrap shooting it, which is good news. We got a little bit more from EW, kind of going into some of the details and things they want to talk about with people behind the show and all that. And there's definitely this info dump that they give us. It's like, oh yeah, WandaVision, when we really thought about it, had to be first for Phase 4 because this is setting up Phase 4. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then they did directly confirm, yes, straight up leads directly into Doctor Strange 2. So that's...
Yep.
I mean...
It feels weird having all that confirmed. It's like, I've been going with the notion that was confirmed anyway.
Same. Like, that's what we've been saying. It's like, oh, I guess now it's confirmed. All right.
It's just like, this was like the most least interesting EW thing I've ever seen. It's like, oh no, actually none of that was confirmed.
You can actually tell that everybody's struggling right now to get exclusives because there ain't much, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah. And you could tell this was all really old stuff.
Oh god,
which is really unfortunate. This was like obviously did a year ago at this point. So it's going to be 6 hours. It's like, well, we know it's longer than 6 hours because they went back to filming again.
And that's the thing. Like they say in that thing, they're like, we were there when they started shooting the pilot. It's like, oh wow, yeah, this is outdated by now. Like
October, a whole 12 months ago. It's just like, ugh. But I like the sound of that pilot. The whole live audience and the filming in black and white. It's like Vision's face didn't look right, so they had to make him blue to make it actually look normal.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, all the stuff that's floating is on strings. It's all this, it's all that. It's just like, I love the sound of that.
I mean, people will be like, well, that doesn't sound like that's that expensive and it sounds cheap. I've seen some people being like, well, that's a cheap way to make a series. Actually, making a period piece that shoots the way they did in the 50s is more expensive. It's more expensive than shooting a modern day episode on like 4 times the budget. It costs so much money. Like,
also, the makeup for Bettany is probably more expensive than an entire series back then.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Like,
especially having to change his face color. Like, oh, it didn't work with red. Let's go to blue. It's just like, oh, that's a lot of paint.
Yeah. So there's like a lot that was kind of like what we knew, what's coming. Obviously, right then and there, they did confirm it's like, oh yeah, she's joining Benedict Cumberbatch in Doctor Strange 2, which is cool. And they teased this huge multiverse element as well, and sort of the setup for how this is setting up Phase 4 in this new direction it's going. Now, mind you, again, at the time that this was kind of in that stage of development, we've since learned, hey, Loki is probably tying into Doctor Strange 2 as well in some sort of weird way, and it's all going to bounce around this multiverse and all that. So my kind of takeaway from this was, I think there's going to be more to this that we don't know of that's kind of like elevated and evolved the series past whatever they knew at this time. Like, that's the sense I get.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it seems like they have, because we learned during the reshoots that happened, like, what, in the summer or something that were happening? Or they were like, oh yeah, that's when Evan Peters is part of this now. And so it's like trickled info that's kind of come spread across the last year has really given us a broader picture of everything, which...
It's going to be interesting. And I love the fact that Wanda's leading Phase 4. So it's like, that's my girl.
Yeah.
But, outside of that, I've got no idea what the hell this show's going to do.
Yeah.
But we obviously know it's going to do something. She's going to break a lot of things. How? I don't know. But that's part of the fun in watching.
That's going to be the, like, part of let's piece everything together. And something else Feige even said, if you've watched every single MCU film, we're pulling Easter eggs and references from every single one that we want you to notice, because some of these might be more than we're leading on. It's like, that for us right here,
typical
that's like
Marvel
perfect.
Studios fashion.
Yep. Yeah. Like in my mind, I'm expecting, and I'm just spitballing here, right? But like, I'm expecting them to be like, oh, Wanda's next door neighbor. And it's suddenly that dude from Iron Man 1 that was keeping Tony in the cave with the ring. And he's like, just like twirling the ring again or something. It's like, wait, was that the Ten Rings dude? Like, I'm expecting small little things like that.
That would be really cool.
Right,
Really, I mean, we have Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
Whether Kat Dennings and what's his name, Jimmy Woo.
Yep.
Like we have those two, but like, how the hell did they factor into it?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're playing some kind of like part in the FBI or whatever unit is sending Monica Rambeau in, or if Monica Rambeau comes out, we don't know which way around that is. But like they're playing some kind of part. So how do they factor into everything? Are they in there as well, and they're different characters, and it's just a different take on them, and they just randomly there as random people,
right?
Or is it like they're from the outside going in? It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
but I just love the whole. They just went out there and essentially going like, yeah, this is Tom King's Vision run.
Yep.
It's like they're in the suburbs. They're trying to blend in. Something happens.
I love that. And like Elizabeth Olsen even said, like she was first hesitant to do this, but then Feige showed her like the issues they were going to base it on, the famous X-Men comics and the Vision comics, and her and Paul Bettany were both like, yeah, we're in. Now we're in.
Yeah.
Like,
and let's be honest. The fact that they've said that, we know exactly what it is.
Yep.
we know the one thing that she has been going on about for years she's wanted to do.
Literally since she was cast.
Yeah, there's that. Oh, who does the good that such and such answers Google questions or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they have that map of Google search and they pull the question away.
Yeah.
Like, we know she's been wanting to do House of M since then, so clearly House of M is playing some part in this.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt they're not gonna make her a mutant. Like, just don't get attached to that idea. They're not going to introduce mutants this way. Maybe they introduced them, but I don't think they're going to make her one. You know, you're not going to get Magneto come out and go, "Hey, you're my daughter." No.
Michael Fassbender just shows up screaming into a fan.
It's acting. You're not going to get that. Actually, I say that not very confidently.
I mean, here's the thing. Whatever we get, we know for a fact that when we're doing the audio commentaries every week, because that's what we're going to do, we're going to audio commentate every episode of every Marvel show, we're going to, be talking about whatever Easter eggs and references are in there, all week long till the next episode. And that's kind of awesome. It's going to be nice to have that part of the conversation, which lacks in many other things.
And the thing is, when is this out? We still haven't got a date.
Should be December, but there is speculation because of Latin American territories listing it as January, but we don't know if that's just regional or not. So,
yeah. I know someone says, I saw something about a help desk. It's like help desks don't give dates.
Yeah.
You can't just call a help desk and ask for a date that's not been revealed yet.
Yep.
It was on the 2020 Disney Plus thing. I think if they delayed it, we would have heard about it probably.
I mean, we will know in the next 14-ish days when they reveal the December schedule. If it's on there.
I would have said sooner, because don't you usually get something after an EW magazine?
Yeah. I mean, typically after EW, about 2 to 3 days, you get a trailer with a thing. So
right, so it's 3:55 p.m. on Thursday, the 12th of November. Give it 4 hours and 5 minutes. Something will be
per normal. But when there's more, we'll obviously talk about it. We're going to cover this series in detail. So we'll be back with more WandaVision.